Good afternoon, everyone. If you could please make your way to your seats, we'd like to begin this first general session of Rotary TriCon 2023. Once again, so glad to see everybody welcoming each other and joining with us in these general sessions. This is the opening of TriCon 2023 for Rotary Districts 6220, 6250, and 6270, and I'm so happy to be welcoming you to my hometown, La Crosse, Wisconsin, here at the lovely La Crosse Center. Well, as some of you may know who have been with us last year at TriCon, my name is Dustin Lukey. I served as MC with you all in Elkhart Lake, and I'm happy to be back here in La Crosse this year. I will be your MC for the general sessions today and tomorrow. I'm a native of Onalaska, Wisconsin, just up the road here, and I graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. I'm happy to be back in my hometown, working professionally as an evening news anchor with WXW TV 19, the ABC affiliate here in town, but for this weekend's purposes, first and foremost, I'm a member of the Rotary Club of La Crosse After Hours. Thank you. When not involved with Rotary or working as a journalist, I spend a lot of my free time doing things like this, emceeing events for a number of organizations around the area, and I'm happy to serve in that capacity, as well as this year serving as the co-chair of the United Fund for the Arts and Humanities alongside my wife, which is a blanket organization, an umbrella organization that helps out local arts and culture groups here. So I'm happy to be doing that as well. I'm also a curler. I know I met some curlers last year. I'm involved in the La Crosse Curling Club. There we go. And I love spending time, of course, with my lovely wife, Dominique, and my kids, Damien, Dax, and Delia. They keep me busy. Oh, we are so pleased that you've chosen to join us this weekend to explore, to connect, and to learn. Of course, this weekend we'll be exploring many dimensions of our Rotary theme this year, which is Imagine Rotary. At this time, I invite you all to please stand as you are able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And now, please join me in the four-way, or as some have implemented, the five-way test. Of all the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And will it be fun? Thank you all. You may be seated. Well, you've probably noticed several flags around the arena here and on stage. In addition to our U.S. flag, we have the flag of Canada, representing our international president, Jennifer Jones. The flag of Poland as well, in recognition of tomorrow's plenary speaker, District Governor Peter Jankowski of Poland, and of course, the flag of Rotary International. At this time, here to offer our reflection for this lunch session is Roger Utnemer from the Rotary Club of Wausau Early Birds. Roger?
Thank you, Dustin. Good afternoon. May we pause and reflect upon what brings us together in Rotary. Service above self, the four-way test, and our collective desire to bring peace, understanding, and goodness to our clubs, our communities, our district, and our world. Special thanks to all who have supported the life-saving, life-sustaining efforts of the Rotary Foundation, and to Polish District Governor Peter Jankowski, who is among us today sharing a powerful message of the impressive role of Rotary in Ukraine. Welcome, Peter, and thank you. Your leadership on behalf of women, children, and orphans makes us all proud to be Rotarians. May we appreciate our good fortune of living in the United States of America, where by sheer chance of birth, with freedom and opportunity, we are among the luckiest people in the world. Let us remember that in Rotary we are in the midst of goodness. And for those of you who have made an annual pledge to support the Rotary Foundation, I extend my sincere best wishes for a very, very long life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roger, for those thoughtful comments. At this time, it looks like it's time to serve lunch. The convention staff will release you by table to join our lovely buffet over there, and the sergeants at arms will collect your meal tickets as you enter the buffet line. Please enjoy. We'll be back with the rest of the session following lunch.
मेरी शादी 2005 में हुई थी और मैं जब 14 साल की थी। बच्चों की पढ़ाई भी नहीं उससे होती है, तो मेरे को तो जाना ही पड़ता है। बचपन में करी थी थोड़ी सी, तो वो भी भूल गए। फिर माँ बाप गरीब थे तो पढ़ा नहीं पाए। फिर मैंने सोचा कि थोड़ा सा साड़ी सीख लेते हैं। हमारे महेश्वर में है, मतलब वो बोलते हैं कि तुम इतने वो हो गए, तुमको झूला से मतलब तुम जुड़ गए, हम रह गए। मतलब जो बुनने वाले रहते हैं कि आपको इतनी बड़ी जगह मिल गई, मतलब अच्छा है, हमको भी कभी जुड़वा देना। जैसे बातचीत वो ऐसे हमारे से करते हैं।
और जो भी है सामान्य महिलाओं द्वारा ही इसका प्रॉफिट जो भी मिलता है, महिलाओं को डायरेक्ट प्रॉफिट मिलता है। झूले का महत्व यही है कि मतलब हमारे जब हमें ज़रूरत थी, झूले ने हमें बहुत सहारा दिया, तो बहुत महत्व ज़्यादा है इसका।
झूले एक सोसाइटी है जिसमें हम सब शामिल हैं, मतलब हर निर्णय में हम शामिल हैं। वहाँ पे ऐसा लगता नहीं कि हम काम कर रहे हैं, ऐसा लगता है बस हम घर पे आके यहाँ पे हम खुद अपना काम खुद स्वयं का कर रहे हैं।
ठीक है, माहौल अच्छा माहौल है, मतलब फ्रेंकली है सभी का, मतलब एक दूसरे से सब क्लोज है और सब एक दूसरे की हेल्प करते हैं। जिसको कुछ नहीं आता है मतलब बताते हैं कि इस टाइप से करो। या
झूले का मेरे जीवन में तो बहुत महत्व है। मतलब मैं मतलब चाहती हूँ कि मेरे परिवार को उन्होंने आगे बढ़ा दिया और अच्छा काम करें। जो मेरी मदद करी ऐसी और किसी की भी मदद होएगी।
Well, welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful lunch from the staff here at the Lacrosse Center. And with that, I now call TriCon Plenary Session number 1 to order. They told me to give it a good rap, so there you go. As you know, TriCon represents a collaboration among Rotary districts 6220, 6250, and 6270, each led by a district governor. So at this time, I will introduce you to our current district governors. DG Dave Anderson is from District 6220, a native of Hazelhurst. Dave is a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Superior, and following college, he started a career as a teacher of social studies and German in Minocqua. He left teaching for a career in government, which you may know him from. He has worked for Governors Tommy Thompson and Scott McCallum, former U.S. Senator Robert Caston Jr., former Congressman Tom Petrie, and Sean Duffy, among others. He retired as Assistant Deputy Secretary at the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development. Previously a member of the Rotary Club of Wausau and Rotary Club of Fond du Lac, Dave is the past president as well of the Wausau Early Birds Rotary Club. He serves and has served on many boards, commissions, councils, in fact, too many to mention here. So at this time, please welcome from Wausau, Wisconsin, Senior Policy Fellow at the Wisconsin Institute for Public Policy, and District 6220 Governor Dave Anderson. Ben Bauer is from District 6250. He was raised in a small town, Spencer, Wisconsin, graduated from Western Technical College right here in La Crosse in graphic design and web design. Moving back home, he founded a printing and marketing company and became a member of the Marshfield Sunrise Club. Ben served as club president 2015-2016 and connected his passion for youth leadership to the district RILA program, which solidified his purpose in Rotary. He co-chaired the camp for a decade and has since said yes to several district leadership opportunities. Then in 2015, Ben sold his portion of the business, joined Simplicity Credit Union as their director of marketing, and has since helped them start a new firm, serving as the executive director at Exclamation Services, a marketing agency focused on helping credit unions, small businesses, and nonprofits. And Ben also wants you to know that he's incredibly proud and grateful for his wife, Katie, and their two children, Charlie and Olive. So please welcome District 6250 Governor Ben Bauer. And DG Mike Phillips is from District 6270. Mike was born and raised in Chicago, attended Lawrence University, and graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. He's been involved in multiple businesses over the years, in telecom, Mtronics, CompuWare, Whitman Hart, Rockwell Automation, Techteriors, B2B Dynamics, Marquette Energy Analytics, and others. He stays busy. His roles have included engineering manager, account manager, project manager, director, vice president, president, co-founder, and owner. A member of the board and past president of West Bend Enchantment in the Park, and the past president of the Kettle Moraine Symphony, Mike joined the Rotary Club of West Bend Sunrise in 2006 and has served as assistant governor. Please welcome from West Bend, trombonist and entrepreneur, District 6270 Governor Mike Phillips. And with that, I invite our district governors to welcome you to this TriCon.
Thank you very much. You know, as I look back on what I think is the most incredible year I've had since joining Rotary over 30 years ago, I can't help but reflect a bit on three of the most transformative experiences I've had since becoming district governor of Rotary District 6220 just about a year ago. First, let me commend the clubs who are represented here today, and particularly those clubs from my own district, District 6220 Rotarians, where are you? Give yourselves a round of applause. You know, attending your club meetings, seeing firsthand the outstanding work you're doing to serve your communities has reminded me how we as Rotarians make a difference in the lives of people every day. Whether it's reading to kindergartners, delivering meals to the elderly, cleaning up highways and riverbanks, building parks, and maintaining trails, you name it, all of you touch somebody's life every day. And that's what makes Rotary such a special organization. Imagine how much more of a difference we can make if we continue to grow and retain our membership, maintain and grow our support for the Rotary Foundation, and tell our story more effectively to our communities to attract other community activists who share our passion for service. Secondly, I've come to appreciate once again the important role our local Rotary clubs and districts play internationally. It warms my heart and touches my very being when I look at the incredible work our district has done in collaboration with other districts and clubs to support Ukrainian relief efforts at a time when those people are dealing with challenges that are unimaginable in today's world. And what an honor it is to have with us today Peter Jankowski, District Governor from District 2231 in Poland, who's been on the front lines of Rotary's efforts in Ukraine. Peter, where are you? Stand up, and there he is. A recent trip I took to Guatemala with the Rotary Club of Milwaukee to visit projects many of you helped fund has also given me a firsthand appreciation for the way we're improving the lives of others beyond our local communities. Imagine how much better so many people throughout the world are living their lives because of your willingness to give. Finally, the new friendships I've made through and because of Rotary have been life-changing for me. I'd like to thank my fellow district governors, Ben Bauer and Mike Phillips, for their tremendous friendship and for being such outstanding partners as we've worked through this journey together. I'd also like to thank those responsible for this weekend's conference. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the members of our own district leadership team from District 6220, and I'd like to specifically recognize Julia Wallace, our district governor-elect, and Roger Utnamer, our district governor nominee, for their willingness to step up and assume this important leadership role. And special thanks to Rotary International President's Representative Tom Gump for his attendance, participation, and inspiration. Most importantly, though, I'd like to thank all of you for being here today and expanding your network of Rotary friends. This is what Rotary is all about. Imagine how much more we can do by working together even more closely to create hope in the world. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. As I visited our beautiful corner of the world this year, visiting clubs, I saw the natural beauty of our district. I also saw and experienced the heart of Rotary members. From Medford to Mayville, Marshfield to Madison, Baraboo to Beaver Dam, Chippewa Falls to Changemakers, La Crosse to La Crescent, and Holman to Prairie du Chien. We don't have another club that starts with an H, I'm sorry. And of course, all clubs in between. The love, care, and heart in Rotary is big and strong. Yeah, I saw a lot. Incredible collaboration between clubs, utilizing partnerships and Rotary resources to bring together amazing projects like the Rotary Mobile Medical Clinic that happened here in the La Crosse area. So many fabulous fundraisers, friendly fellowships, selfless service, and so much fun. But one observation that stuck out the most was the generosity of district and club leaders. Some at the front of the room and others quietly in the background. Rotarians all over 6250 are incredibly generous of their time and talent, and through the activation of their friends in the network of Rotary, we create real lasting change. We're grateful for every Rotarian, and to all of you serving in district and club leadership roles, a special thank you. Imagine. We've imagined a lot this year. We'll hear imagine a lot more this weekend, and we'll get ideas for inspiration and meet new friends who can help us turn imagination into action. An event like this can be overwhelming with takeaways, so challenge yourself to do one thing. Take one idea back to your club. Consider one person who you want to invite to Rotary when you return. Get to know one new friend. Learn one new thing. And imagine what we can do after one. The closing session of TriCon tomorrow afternoon is future-focused on creating hope in the world and led by our district governors-elect. So I'll take this opportunity for three really special thank yous. I'll echo Dave. Big thank you to Dave and Mike for your friendship and partnership as district governor counterparts. It's a forever friendship that extends far beyond TriCon. After adding my note to thank my family in the script for Dustin, I have to take a little more time and give a proper thank you to my wife, Katie, our son, Charlie, and our daughter, Olive, for all the support and love. Serving in a role like this means time away from those that you love most, and I know that the time lost from family has allowed me to play a small part in creating lasting change. They'll be with us tomorrow, so please say hello and do your best to resist pinching cheeks and, you know, those chubby legs with the wrinkles and stuff. They're pretty irresistible, so I'm warning you. Just keep your distance. I'm kidding. We're huggers. It's all good. And last but not least, thank you to every single one of you. Sincerely, thank you to all of you for being here this weekend. Thank you for the imagination and lasting change that you bring to our beautiful world. Thank you.
everyone. Thanks very much for coming. I mean, we are really excited to see such a turnout. Dave, Ben, and I, along with the TriCon Council, which is an amazing team of people, have worked hard all Rotary year so far to get this event off the ground. We're just thrilled to see so many of you here. So I want to welcome all of you. I want to talk a little bit about two things. One is some of what I've learned as a district governor. So it is, it's a job that has a lot of email. You can imagine that, a lot of meetings. They're not terribly exciting, any of those things. But what the district governor gets to do is visit every club. And I just loved doing that. Our clubs are just amazing. And when you think about it, everything that we see, when you go to the House of Friendship and you see things there that have been accomplished. When you go, on our Rotary.org site and you see the showcase of all these amazing things we do all over the world. Every single one of those things started in some room somewhere in a club. It didn't start at RI, it didn't start at zone, it didn't start at the district. If you think of us as kind of an analogy to, like, let's say GM, GM makes cars. They have, an engineering department that designs those cars. They have production to build those cars. So, our product is not cars, our product is service. And our clubs are both the engineering department and the production department. So they come up with the ideas, they figure out how to go about doing them, they figure out how to go about funding them, and then they go execute them. It really is, it's an amazing thing to see this diverse group of clubs that is very loosely, they're all independent organizations, affiliated together, in Rotary. It's amazing all that they've accomplished. So that was just a wonderful part of being district governor. All of us, I became district governor because somebody asked us, and we didn't say no. So if you get the opportunity, I want to encourage you to take it, because it really is a wonderful experience to see the amazing things that a group of amazing people do. So TriCon, I encourage you to take advantage of the House of Friendship, take advantage of the breakout sessions we had, because in each of these there are ideas of how we can deliver better service, on how we can deliver additional service. So there's a lot of opportunity here for us to learn about how we can do what we do so very well already, but we can always use new ideas, and we can always, improve and serve better. So please take advantage of all these things. It's really a great set of workshops and speakers, and so I hope you take advantage of that. The other thing is, as my classmates here, by the way, I used to hear past district governors talk about their classes, and I thought, what is that? I just didn't quite get that. But when you get in the DG line and you form these relationships, you really form just tremendous long-term relationships with people that I'm sure will stay in touch for years. And a lot of that happens here at TriCon. At our pets, some of the best things that come out of there are the conversations and the friendships we make. And so please take advantage of getting to know each other, and there's just a wonderful group of people, and hope you, in addition to learning more about how to do service, you make some more friends here, and that will enrich your life as much as doing the service. So thank you very much, and welcome to TriCon.
And a big thank you to our district governors for that wonderful welcome. We look forward to hearing more from them throughout this weekend. Well, each year, the president of Rotary International chooses representatives to help inspire and motivate participants at district conferences. This year, Rotary International President Jennifer Jones has selected past District 5950 Governor Tom Gump from Edina, Minnesota, as her president's representative to TriCon 2023. Tom was general chair of the 2022 Zone 25B29 Institute, is a member of the Rotary International Membership Growth Committee, and a member of the Membership Society. Again, to help welcome you to TriCon 2023, here is past District Governor Tom Gump.
Well, thank you, Dustin, and welcome, Rotary family. You know, it's hard to express the excitement that my wife, Catherine, and I have being here with you today. You know, we were walking outside in downtown beautiful La Crosse, Wisconsin this morning, and we saw a store. It was called The Painted Patio, and we stopped because there was a sign in there that attracted our eye, and in big words, it said, family. And then there was a subtitle that said, love one another. And the first thought that popped to our minds was, it's great to be here with our Rotary family. And the second thing we thought of is, we don't have to tell you to love one another because you already do it. You know, last night when we came in, you treated us like we lived here. And even though we're a member of your zone, we live in Minneapolis. So, on behalf of RI, Rotary International President Jennifer Jones, and her partner Nick Kriacek, we welcome you to this, the 2023 Wisconsin TriCon. Woo! And like I said, we're excited to be here. We're excited to be here so that we can celebrate the successes that your three districts had over the past year, as you worked hard to imagine what Rotary could be in your districts, and then took concrete steps to make that imagination into something real. And we're excited to be here together with you as your future district governor-elects in 64 days from today. The pressure's on. In 64 days from today, you will work with them to help create hope in the world. And most of all, we're glad to be together so we can share that fellowship that District Governor Mike just talked about. So, Catherine and I were impressed when we looked at the jam-packed agenda that you guys put together for this event. But it's not too jam-packed because there's time that we get together for Pints for People and to have that fellowship that we need. So, I can feel the excitement in the room today. So I'm going to turn it over to our wonderful MC from La Crosse, Dustin.
Thank you. And thank you again, Tom, for that welcome. And thank you for joining the excitement, all of you, of TriCon 2023 here in La Crosse. The gold level sponsor for this plenary session is Mayo Clinic Health System, a network of clinics, hospitals, and related healthcare facilities located in 44 communities across western Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, and northern Iowa. Their staff provide top-quality, high-value primary and specialty medical services for the benefit of more than 600,000 patients each year. In 2022, their La Crosse Hospital was the only healthcare facility in southwest Wisconsin to receive the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid's 5-star quality rating and Leapfrog Grade A rating when it comes to patient safety. Mayo Clinic Health System also stands as the #1 ranked employer in the state of Wisconsin, according to a 2022 assessment of top employers released by Forbes magazine. And if you take a drive down Jackson Street over to West Ave, you'll see the beautiful new hospital taking shape here in La Crosse that will open in 2024. Here to introduce our speaker for this afternoon from the Mayo Clinic Health System is Peter Grabo, the Advancement Activities Administrator and member of the Rotary Club of La Crosse. Peter.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Dustin, and good afternoon, everyone. There are actually quite a few of us from Mayo Clinic Health System who are Rotarians, including a number of us who are here today, and we're grateful to be with you at TriCon. Mental health and substance abuse issues have long been a priority for Mayo Clinic Health System, working with our patients and with the community at large. And these issues have now emerged at the top of our organization's Community Health Needs Assessment, which guides us in our daily work and the work we do to improve the health of the communities we serve in the region beyond. We look for innovative solutions, whether that involves embedding Mayo behavioral health specialists into our Boys and Girls Club locations, which we've been doing since 2015, helping to fund programs at agencies that serve our community, like the Cooley Recovery Center, or through the dedication of our specialists inside the walls of our medical practice. We recognize the rising importance of this work. So we are especially honored to be here today to introduce the speaker who is with us to share of her battle and her participation in this battle. Betsy Rozelle is the owner of Rozelle Communications, LLC, and author of Seeking Common Bonds. She is past president, past District 6270 trainer, and a member of the Rotary Club of Neenah. Betsy has spent the past 10 years working with teams and individuals to sharpen their relationship-building skills. And today she will share why those skills are so important to the work of addiction prevention and how we as Rotarians can build relationships of lasting value. Please join me in welcoming Betsy Rozelle.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Mayo Clinic, and good afternoon, Rotarians. I'm so excited to be the first speaker of TriCon 2023 to kick off this awesome weekend of learning and fellowship. Imagine, if you will, a world without Rotary. Imagine instead, because it's a lot happier thing to imagine, all the lives that we as Rotarians have changed or have even saved just in this last Rotary year alone. Imagine. We Rotarians are pretty good at prevention in order to save lives, right? We put drops into babies' mouths to prevent polio. We pack meals like we'll be doing this weekend to help prevent hunger. We help with wells and clean water and sanitation programs to prevent waterborne illnesses. We purchase mosquito nets to help prevent malaria. We do a lot of prevention, we do a lot of good. And there's another danger besides all of these that I mentioned that's become an even bigger danger in our culture, and that is the danger of addiction and overdose. What a great opportunity we as Rotarians have to make an impact on overdose, which is, did you know, this fact is astounding. Overdose is now the leading cause of accidental death for people under 50 in the United States. That's more than car accidents. It's the leading cause of accidental death. Addiction needs Rotarians' attention. I'm not going to bore you with statistics, but this CDC chart shows that we have a problem with addiction that lead to overdose deaths in this country. This chart goes only to 2021. These numbers are climbing year after year in the United States. This is my stepson, Zachary, and his dog, Rue. He loved that dog. And Rue didn't even mind getting dressed up like that. This picture was taken the Halloween the year before Zach died of an accidental fentanyl overdose. The fentanyl was laced into the heroin that he was using as he had an addiction issue. Zach grew up with a lot of anxiety. He had a reading disability, so that made him very anxious. Made him anxious to go to school, made him anxious to be around groups of people. So of course he started self-medicating. And in high school he met a buddy whose dad was a doctor who could get a prescription pad and write him oxy prescriptions. Then the country started really clamping down on oxycodone, on oxy and other opioids, as you know if you watch the news at all, right? We started really clamping down and making a pretty good impact on physicians overprescribing. And guess what else? Opioids became very expensive, very expensive. And it was much, much cheaper for Zach to switch to heroin, where for $10 he could get it delivered right to his apartment door. And that's how addiction starts. And the brain changes. We learned so much through the process, right? We, as many of you in the room, probably thought that we could talk sense into Zach, right? Don't you see what you're doing? Don't you see how damaging this is? But guess what? It doesn't work like that. Once the brain is changed from heroin use over time, a very short time. A takeaway for me in that education process was that people start using drugs like heroin to get high. They end up using it to get by. Day to day, Zach needed the heroin just to get by, just to go to work. Yeah, he had a job, he went to work every day, and he needed that heroin fix just to get by, just to feel somewhat normal. We sent him to rehab, and we're kind of excited that he went drug-free for a couple months after rehab, until that week when he wasn't drug-free. And the heroin that he used that day was laced with fentanyl, which, if you hear of overdoses today, a large, large percentage of them will be because the drug was laced with fentanyl. I get really, really tired of our culture having to spend so much time talking about treatment and incarceration. Those two things are very important, don't get me wrong, but treatment and incarceration cost so much money and so many lives compared to going upstream, right? We spend a lot of time downstream talking about what to do once somebody's addicted. We spend very little time talking about upstream in preventing the addiction in the first place. To use a dental analogy, I feel like we spend a lot of time as a culture pulling teeth and filling cavities, and not nearly enough time teaching kids how to brush and floss their teeth. And in the area of drug prevention and addiction prevention, it's so exciting that Rotary now has an opportunity to work on that addiction prevention component. I don't know if you've ever heard of RAG apps, right? Or RAGs, Rotary Action Group. They're a thing, okay? There's a Rotary Action Group for addiction prevention. It's called RAG app. This RAG was founded in 2013, and it was actually recognized by Rotary International in 2016, and it's in 42 countries already, which means that, guess what? It's not just the United States that's struggling with an addiction and an overdose problem. It's the world, right? What's exciting in Wisconsin is that, at least in my district, 6270, our district is partnering with this company called Affinity and has purchased an addiction prevention kit, okay, that can be used for community education. I'm going to ask Dr. Ken Kurt to stand up in the back. Ken, can you stand up and wave? Dr. Ken Kurt is your contact person for any questions that you have, because I'm not a subject matter expert. Ken is. Ken can tell you the stories. I can tell you one story about my stepson and our family's journey. Ken can talk about the medical, and he can talk about all the patients he's lost, and he can talk about the passion that he has for preventing addiction. So I'll put this up later again if you want to write Ken's number down. Thanks so much, Ken, for your passion and for your work. This is exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff because we can make a dent, just like we do for polio and malaria and waterborne illnesses. We can make a dent in addiction and in overdose. But guess what? All kinds of prevention requires connection. That's my passion area. I'm passionate, so passionate I wrote a book about it, about building what I call building affinity, the relationships that we have to build as human beings, and especially as Rotarians, when we take on big challenges like polio prevention or hunger in your neighborhoods, whatever it is. We need connection, and we need to get better at creating what I call affinity. It's a very basic word. Here's how I define it, okay? It's up on the screen. Simply the connection between people based on common experiences and passions and interests. So, for example, like when Justin mentioned curling, that he's a curler, a few of you, yeah, woohoo, curling, right? You have an affinity for curling, okay? I don't have that affinity, but those of you who do, you can relate to that, right? Everybody in this room has an affinity for Rotary, an affinity that we want to pass on and get others excited about, okay? So that's what I mean when I say affinity. Affinity is built into our four-way test. The third test, will it build goodwill and better friendships? That means we as Rotarians need to practice building goodwill and better friendships. So we need that affinity building. We need that basic connection. I'm a visual learner, right? So I did this Venn diagram, like from 3rd grade, right? We all know Venn diagrams. And because you know what? This whole affinity building thing is very elementary. And it kind of reminds me of Vince Lombardi being in the locker room when the Packers were having that really bad game, and he said, "Gentlemen, this is a football." Well, the relationship building skills, that's the football for Rotary. That's the football for connection. So I'm going to spend a little time talking about the football, whether it deals with addiction prevention or fighting hunger in your neighborhoods or building bridges to other countries. It all requires that human connection. So I put this diagram together as a visual. I used 2 people who I know whose names have been changed, of course, so don't be guessing who Tony and James are. So Tony, my friend Tony, is a Democrat. He's a community activist. He's big time worried about climate change, and he's a hardcore gun control advocate, okay? I'm also friends with James, who's a Republican. He's a CPA, okay? When you ask him what his biggest issue in voting is, he says it's the economy, stupid, right? That's James. And he opposes anything to do with gun control, okay? So these are 2 friends of mine. And I noticed that whenever they'd be together, like at, something at my house or even out in public and they were together, they would kind of pick at each other, right? I mean, is this a microcosm of Washington or what? But they would pick at each other. And they never got to know each other as people. They knew what their differences are, but they didn't find out anything in common. So what I do professionally in helping team building and companies, I started doing with Tony and James and getting them to know each other and asking them questions that would lead them to find some things they had in common. And lo and behold, they both discovered they have a son in the military, so now we're going to go in the middle, right? Let's see, if I had a pointer, I'd point in that middle, the gray square. They both played high school football. You have to ask questions to find the things that you have in common. They both are into scuba diving, and they both fly their US flag at home. So now when Tony and James are in the same room, instead of picking on each other right away, what do you think the first thing is that they talk about? Exactly. How's Josh doing in Afghanistan? Right? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to watch this relationship transformation. And it's the same kind of thing that has to happen with us when we as Rotarians, first of all, when you're recruiting somebody who doesn't seem anything like you, or when you're working on a project where you need to work with other people in other neighborhoods that don't seem a lot like you, you have to go through this mental exercise of let's first of all find some things we have in common and then build on that. You'll build some unlikely friendships. Bono, for those of you who don't know, I'm assuming you know the one guy, but the other guy's Bono. Maybe I shouldn't do any assuming, right? Shouldn't assume. Guy in the sunglasses is Bono, and he used to really make fun of President Bush. I mean, he used to poke a lot of fun on his social media. He used to, make jokes at the president's expense, and they didn't really like each other, okay? But this picture shows what happened as a result of an affinity they found they had in common, and that was AIDS prevention. These two gentlemen have built what's now a close friendship because they came around that common bond of fighting AIDS together. And look at them now. You would never know that they once didn't like each other. I'm excited about this common bonds thing because there are some basic things that we can do. And I have a workshop that I build around this, but given that I have about 5 minutes and 42 seconds left, I'm going to give you just about 4 little footballs, okay? 4 little footballs of things that you as Rotarians, you as professionals, you as neighbors, you as parents can do to help you build affinity with other people. And one of those first things is, look at what people are wearing. That might be clothes they're wearing. It might be tattoos they're wearing. In this case, this girl has a Harley Davidson t-shirt on. We can find out so much about somebody from what they're wearing, and we can then use it to build affinity with them. So with this girl, I might say, do you have a Harley? Do you ride a Harley? I'd ask her about something that she clearly is passionate about, right? My favorite thing to find out about somebody, like when I met Phil, tell me about that ink. Phil has this great tattoo. Tell me about that. Don't miss the opportunity to talk to people about what they're wearing. That Rotary pin, our Rotary pin is a great example. We want people to ask us about that Rotary pin. And if we see somebody else with a Rotary pin, we immediately have an affinity with them, no matter what country in the world we're in, right? So don't miss the opportunity to talk about what people are wearing, even if it's something as simple. Where did you get that cool scarf? Tell me about those shoes. Whatever it is, it's an in, right, to build affinity, to build a further relationship. Personalize. How many of you are on Facebook? Right? Instagram. Now, when I say Instagram and Snapchat, then the younger folks' hands will go up, right? Yeah, Instagram and Snapchat. Whatever you're on, and even if it's in email, personalize. On your birthday, if you're on Facebook, you get hundreds of happy birthday wishes, right? And don't get me wrong, I appreciate every single one of them. But I'm going to be honest, I'm a little disappointed sometimes when all it says is, happy birthday, right? I mean, were they really thinking about me, or did it just show up that it was Betsy Rozelle's birthday and it's happy birthday comes out? It's probably a speed thing. They type in H and that it auto-fills, right? It auto-fills. If you want to show somebody that you care, if you want to build affinity with them, personalize those greetings. Whether it's a happy anniversary, happy 20th work anniversary, whatever it is, and you're publicly saying it, find out something that they enjoy. So let's say you have a coworker or a friend, Anne. Her name is Anne, and you're wishing her a happy birthday, and you know Anne's really into going to the movies. She's a movie buff. Go into Google, okay, and type happy birthday, Anne, and hit images. a plethora of images will show up, okay? So if your friend Anne is into movies, put this on her Facebook page, because this is one that'll show up. And like, I'm into wordplay, so I would say, make it a blockbuster year, Anne. Anne now knows that I took a minute out of my day to think about her and something she values, right? If she valued horses, I might have done Happy Birthday, Anne, or Happy Birthday with horse images, whatever it is, just to show them that you're thinking about them in particular, right? When you pick out a birthday card, you wouldn't just pick out a birthday card that says Happy Birthday, okay? Well, some of you might, and that's okay. No judging, but I'm helping you. I want you to step up your game a little bit and personalize. And it's easy to do. Google makes it so easy to do, okay? So personalize, always personalize. Okay, this is a shameless attempt to get my granddaughter's pictures up here, but these are my granddaughters. There is scientific evidence that when we smile, we release endorphins, and the people around us release endorphins. Not everybody's a natural smiler. I know that. Some of you may even have to practice smiling in the mirror. I mean, that sounds funny, but when I'm doing this training with companies, you know, there's always one person in the room who's not a smiler, who can relate to this, who has to actually practice it. Practice it because it shows goodwill. It builds better friendships, right? I asked an exchange student from Bulgaria once what was so different about the United States than from Bulgaria and what he liked here, and he said, people look at you and they smile at you here. We show we care, right? 3 words. If you take nothing else away from this presentation today, take these 3 words. Add them to your vocabulary. Tell me about. Tell me about that ink. Tell me about your trip to Guatemala. Tell me about. Open the door to the person sharing to build affinity, okay? And putting this up one more time so you can see that it's Dr. Ken Kurt who you contact. I thank you for listening, and I'm so excited to be here learning and fellowshipping with you. And if you want to connect with me, there's my QR code. You can hold your phone up there and scan it. We'll be connected on LinkedIn. I would love to get to know you better. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you as Rotarians for all the work we do to build affinity in the world.
Thank you so much, Betsy Rozelle, for sharing your experience with us and those perspectives on relationship building. I think there's a lot that we can all take from that. And in recognition of your service, TriCon is making a contribution to Polio Plus in your name. So folks, let's hear another round of applause for Betsy Rozelle. All right, this afternoon, we've got a lot to get to. We've got more than a dozen workshops at 2, 3, and 4 p.m. covering topics ranging from polio eradication to empowering girls and women, from Rotary fellowships to youth exchange, and so much more. So make sure to check your schedule for those times, locations, speakers, and other details. And don't forget as well to check out the House of Friendship. Talk to the exhibitors there. See what the vendors have to offer. The House of Friendship includes this year things like Books for the World, Rotary Action Group on Addiction Prevention, as we just heard about, and the Rotary Friendship Exchange. Make sure to check out the silent auction as well. Lots of choices, many things on which to bid. Check out those tables. And some of you may have heard rumblings of plans for a fun walk along the river tomorrow morning. Well, due to the historic high water that we're experiencing this year in La Crosse, the trails and paths that we might have used for that are all closed. So we've had to cancel the Saturday morning fun walk, but please take a moment if you get a chance to enjoy this wonderful area. I'm so proud to share La Crosse with all of you. Also get ready for an unforgettable Saturday night experience with Pints for Polio in true La Crosse fashion. For $40, you'll receive an exclusive custom Pints for Polio pint glass, a passport, and 3 drink tickets to tour some of the most incredible establishments here in historic downtown La Crosse, all just a stone's throw away from where you're staying and our conference center here, so you can walk, stumble your way back to your room if you need to at the end of the night. Participating locations include Big Al's, The Crow, Christos Taverna, Dublin Square Irish Pub and Eatery, Grounded Patio Cafe, Taqueria Pato Azul, La Crosse Distilling Company, and Bodega Brew Pub. A lot of my favorites on that list as well. Pick up your passport and glass at the polio table near the registration area between 9 and 3 tomorrow. And we'll see you back here at 5:30 for the social hour. Dinner is tonight at 6:30. And with that, TriCon 2023 plenary session number 1 is now adjourned. Thank you.